Can you tell a story with sound? Or more accurately, with music? Can you really tell a whole story from start to finish without a single conversation ever taking place? Well, yeah, Pink Floyd did it in 1979, and Alien Stage kind of has visuals and barely relies on the music at all, so I don't know where I'm going with this intro. Anyway, Alien Stage has been taking the internet by storm for a good while now, finally reaching its conclusion only about a month ago as of me writing this. Now, I've always kind of known of its existence, but every time I felt interested in it, the reminder that it was just a bunch of music videos never failed to kill that interest instantly. Oh, right. For those uninformed, Alien Stage is a series of music videos, duh, made by the incredible artist VIVINOS. Yeah, no correlation to that one artist that makes music for teenage white boys. Sorry. These music videos tell the story of a group of humans that are forced to compete against each other in a singing competition for the entertainment of a bunch of weird aliens. Each music video covering a round of this tournament, except the ones that don't do that, and the whole morbid twist is, if you lose, the aliens fucking slime you. This premise is really not a bad one, and I was super interested in it the first time I heard about it. But as I stated before, the fact the entire story is told through music videos really put me off of Alien Stage originally. And after having watched all of it, I'm honestly really sad to say I was right to be skeptical. And as much as I love the premise of Alien Stage, it's honestly the first big downside you'll notice. So this round is about these two gay girls, Suwa and Mizi, that grew up together and love each other a lot. This video also introduces us to the Alien Stage as a whole, as well as the fact that humanity is basically extinct, more or less. This video's job ends up being introducing us to the story, and I'd honestly say it does a pretty good job of it. But unfortunately, it also introduces something that will be a recurring issue. Alien Stage wants to do so much that it simply can't do, because of the fact it's just music videos. They want you to understand so much context within this one video, so that when you finally see this, you care. But on a first watch, you don't even know the name of this girl yet. You can't make a sad death scene without character attachment. How do you expect me to be sad about a character dying when I don't even know her name? Genuinely, all you know about this character at this stage of the story is that she's gay and she really likes this one girl with the pink hair. When you want to make a story with as many limitations as the Alien Stage does, you kind of have to adapt your scope to fit within these limitations. And unfortunately, the Alien Stage really just doesn't do that. And what's even worse than that, I don't even think they take full advantage of what little that they actually can use. For round 2, we witnessed Till, the actual important character, dominate the stage and winning before even letting his opponent, who is not an important character, have a turn. Which is something that can apparently happen. I don't really see how that's fair. But obviously, some motherfucker named Acorn was never going to be important. With this round, another issue becomes really clear. These songs are kind of meaningless. The music itself is absolutely amazing. Genuinely, there's almost no song in here that's not absolutely amazing. It's the lyrics that I take issue with. Alien Stage can't really forward its story through any sort of dialogue like a normal show or movie would. Instead, all we have is a song and some visuals to go along with the song. And you simply can't develop your characters through visuals alone. The story, fine, you can get a lot across with purely visuals, but with this whole death tournament thing that Alien Stage is kind of going for, they really need you to care about these characters. They really need better characterization. You need someone to root for. You need a reason to care when these people die. The way you would usually do this is through dialogue, character interactions, or personality, all things that Alien Stage can't really show through the usual means. So these songs really need to shine through and tell us something, man. Whether that be more lore, personality, or just expanding more on the character. But unfortunately, the alien stage doesn't really do any of that. So let's compare this song to a song from an album that tries to do a similar thing. Igor by Tyler, the Creator. This album seeks to tell the story of a man who falls in love with another man who's already dating a different girl. And Till is a man who's in love with a girl that is already together with a different girl. See, pretty similar. So let's compare Earthquake, which is the song where Igor talks about his feelings for this guy, with the song where Till does the same thing but for Mizi. So Earthquake starts simple with the words, Igor talks about how these feelings he has for this guy has shaken up his entire world, but this happiness is somewhat mixed with sadness, with him talking about how these feelings of love are also what's making his heart break. We then move on to the bridge where Igor just repeats, "Don't leave my phone." This characterizes Igor as a very desperate guy who's willing to put himself down for the validation and presence of this guy. If we then move down to the last verse in the song where we see how Igor talks about his feelings as well as his view of this guy's feelings, it clearly shows how Igor and this guy wants very different things. You make my earthquake. I don't want no confrontation, no. You don't want my conversation. I just need some confirmation on how you feel. For real. You don't want no complication, no. I don't want no sign from me. So I didn't even know that, 'cause I'm for real. I said. Now, keep in mind this is a very quick analysis because this isn't a video about Igor. I could go way deeper if I wanted to, trust me. But in this quick analysis from this one song, we have been introduced to Igor's situation. We have an understanding on this guy's effects on Igor's life and emotions, both the negative and the positive. We get characterization of Igor as a desperate guy who really wants love, and we get introduced to Igor and this guy's dynamic as two people wanting different things. Now, to read into the lyrics of the Till song, well, he likes her a lot, and he likes nobody else, and he doesn't have enough time because of her, I guess. Yeah, the English is a bit rough around the edges, but I won't fault the songwriters for that. It's hard writing outside of your native language, but even ignoring that, there's just not much to be found within the lyrics of this song. If I want to really stretch for a meaning here, I can say that these lyrics about him not having enough time is in reference to the alien stage and Till kind of panicking about him not having enough time to fully explore his love before one of them possibly dies. But like, considering this doesn't end up being a theme that is brought up again after this point, and it also doesn't really fit into what little we know of him as a character, it's definitely a bit of a stretch. Now, this is all to say that the song lyrics are unbelievably underutilized as a tool to tell this story. And when you're dealing with a format as limited as music videos, that is a huge blow to your potential. And so is... So, romance is a very important part of the alien stage. Literally every character has some sort of canon ship. Some better, some atrocious, but we'll get into that later. The main issue with the romance in the alien stage being the fact that every character's feelings of love are so unbelievably unexplored. Like, there's not a single character in the story that has any sort of explained reason for why they fell for the person they fell for. We know that she likes her, and he likes him, and he likes her. Why? Who knows, really. This makes the relationships kind of hard to get invested in, hard to buy into. Also, while we're on the topic of Run Free, I need to say it, but like, Ivan's voice is horrid. Like, his singing voice is so bad. I mean, I'm not gonna complain that much because every other song that Ivan isn't in is a banger, but the songs where he's singing, like, oof, they're kind of rough. Oh, right, I forgot to mention, this round is just Ivan against another random background character, and it's just more of an intro than anything, and he just kind of talks about how much he wants Till, so yeah, moving on. So this round we get introduced into Luka. Unfortunately, yeah, this whole section's complaints is just this character, because he took me out of the story so badly. So we're first introduced to him in round 5 as he battles Mizi using very malicious tactics. Basically, he copies the mannerisms of Sua to throw Mizi off in an attempt to get her to lose. This eventually leads to Mizi having a crash out for the record books as she completely beats the fuck out of Luka, which disqualifies her and ends with Luka winning. So yeah, he basically rage baited his way into victory. That's my goat, I guess. Mizi doesn't die here though, as she's saved by this woman by the name of Hyuna, but more on her in a bit. Honestly, as much as I ended up hating Luka, when I first watched this, I honestly thought he seemed the most interesting character by far. The issue being the fact that the alien stage simply doesn't manage to do anything even slightly interesting with his character. Luka is just kind of an asshole, and there's no real reason for it. What we know about Luka is that he's someone that the aliens experimented on an outrageous amount, and he's kind of meant to be the ace competitor. This being his second time at the alien stage, with him already having won once. So he's like majorly the favorite to win. My issue with that is that he only really manages to win through his competitors being crazy traumatized, while he's like an unbothered queen, I suppose. So he's kind of set up as all these things that should lead to an easy strike, but instead we somehow end up with a gutter ball. These problems of his only getting worse and worse the more we know about him. Luka has this one music video that focused pretty heavily on him, and despite this whole music video being some of the most gorgeous shit I've ever seen and heard in my life, like, just listen to this. My monetization is probably gone with that, but so worth it. Unfortunately, I wish I could glaze the actual contents of this video as much as I can glaze the visuals and the music. But instead, what we learn about Luka is that as a kid, he just kind of murders Hyuna's brother. Yeah, this is never fucking explained, by the way. This is just such a massive lore drop for not only Luka's character, but also for Hyuna's character, and also for this weird relationship that they have where Luka wants her, and I'm just so lost right now. It was to the point where I thought I must just be missing something. So I did something which I never do, which is look up what other people are saying about it, but honestly, there just wasn't much. The leading theory seems to be that it was some sort of accident, as we see the kid's dead body laying next to a bloody rock. But considering there's this one shot of Luka walking away from the dead body smiling, I don't think this was no goddamn accident. This mixed with the fact that we're clearly shown that Luka feels very jealous of this kid, considering Hyuna gives him a lot of attention. We also have this one shot where the kid raises his hand up as if preparing to fight, which all of this tells me that this kid tried to fight Luka, and Luka thought it was appropriate to bash his skull in with a rock for whatever reason. And then the cherry on top is the fact that Hyuna then dies for Luka later on. Yeah, sorry, spoilers or whatever, I guess, but like, I'm receiving very mixed signals here. Luka is characterized as some evil, malicious-ass guy that uses people's pain against them. He's also apparently a murderer, but he's at the same time characterized as this poor little helpless kid who was experimented on and struggles socially and just wants to be with this girl, and these two things are clashing with each other very heavily, which just kind of ends up with him being a big fat question mark within the story. I guess his purpose is just to look pretty, win, and be evil for no goddamn reason. And in a way, I guess I can respect that kind of grind. I don't know, man. For round 6, we basically have a replay of round 1 with the whole Sua and Mizi shit, except this is a whole lot more uncomfortable. Where Sua and Mizi was a tragic romance, this is one-sided desperation that ends with good old-fashioned sexual assault. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is weird. And no, I'm not trying to make the argument that this is somehow romanticized. It's definitely not. This is a serious evil that Ivan commits, and it is treated as such. My issue with this is just that the show doesn't really have the capabilities of handling a topic like this. Sure, it's treated as serious, but like the next time we see Till after this, he's just kind of singing before getting shot. We didn't get any time for him to process or even react to what happened to him. You can't cover sexual assault by only covering the perspective of the assailant. That's the reason the Jeffrey Dahmer show is so awful. When writing a story, your audience will by default want to cheer for whoever's perspective we are given. When you go to watch Death Note, most people are cheering for Light despite him being clearly in the wrong. Why? Because he's the protagonist. That's just how our brain works. We are giving Ivan's side of the story, his reason for doing this, and only his point of view. Sure, the show doesn't portray it as good, but it also doesn't really do its due diligence to portray it as bad either. The reason something like Death Note works, where the villain is the protagonist, is because we are given an outside view. We are given the perspective of those that Light negatively impact. But here, we just don't get that, which just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. For the 7th and final round, I want to talk about the ending, because oh god, it is a shit show. So we are given the ending in form of 2 music videos, Final and Karma. Final is simple, it just shows Luka's round against Till, which Till loses due to being too traumatized, as I stated earlier. So of course Till gets shot right in front of Mizi, who's just kind of there in the crowd because of rebel bullshit I'm not gonna get into now. So Karma basically seeks to tie up every loose end in an 8-minute long absolute masterpiece of a music video. Like, the composition of the song, the visuals, absolutely god tier. I genuinely get chills every time I watch this. Just, you know what, just play that shit, man. Yet again, just like the Luka video, unfortunately, the substance simply isn't able to keep up with the style. First, we find something out that recontextualizes round 1 by giving us the knowledge that Suwa knew she was going to die. She knew what the alien stage was, and she knew that if she lost, they were gonna shoot her. She lost on purpose because she wanted Mizi to live. The thing is, Mizi knew this. Mizi knew Suwa's plan to sacrifice herself, and despite their feelings supposedly being mutual, she just let her do it, valuing her life over Suwa's and proclaiming that they simply must have not loved each other in the same way. Now, I think this is super cool. What we first thought was a tragic romance cut too short ended up in actuality being a woman taking advantage of the person who loves her the most for her own gain. This made Mizi's character super interesting for me, and as I continued watching Karma, I really wanted to see where they took her next. I really was excited to learn more about this character, even despite it all. Yeah, I'm blowing this bitch up. Wait, what? Okay, so I was like on board with the whole selfishness and valuing herself more than anyone else. I thought that was cool, but then we went from that to casual terrorism. So yeah, I think just as fast as they hooked me on this character, they shot her twice in the legs, or more accurately, just dropped a bomb on her. Now, for you to understand this, I kind of have to touch on this rebel group a bit. So Hyuna was the only human who was able to escape the alien stage, and she started a rebel group to try to fuck over these alien scumbags. The plan that this group had been working on was this giant bomb that they wanted to launch at the aliens. Mizi joins the rebel group after being saved by Hyuna in round 5, but then after watching Till get shot, she decides that because she lost, "We are losing," as she launches the bomb towards the arena with every member of the rebel group here. What we are witnessing here is basically Mizi trying to wipe out the small remnants of humanity that still remains, just because she's feeling a little sad, I guess. I just can't get over how extreme of an action this is with next to no actual reason for it happening. Why? And if this wasn't enough, somehow literally none of the humans died to this bomb. Mizi, Luka, the rebel gang, and somehow fucking Till lived this. Yeah, Till. Like, this guy was laying there, dead on the ground after having been shot through the neck. How do you survive that? And the bomb, like, this is not to mention that this is what Mizi looks like after the bomb. And then this is Till. Did this man master the arts of instant transmission or something? Because how are you completely fine after both of these things happening to you? And Mizi, who had the ability to walk at the time of the bomb, looks like this. I won't even bring up how Luka seems to also be unharmed despite us literally witnessing him get incinerated. But whatever, it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm not mad at all. Yeah, not really. This ending sucks. As much as I've been relatively negative in this video, I really hold no ill will or hate towards the alien stage. In fact, it's more so the opposite. I think it's really cool what VIVINOS is doing and what VIVINOS has managed to accomplish with the alien stage. I think she's done such a good job, and all the people working on it have done an incredible job, and the idea itself is amazing. I mean, I've been glazing it this whole time. There's a reason I gladly gave away my monetization just so I could play snippets of the music videos in this video, because they're just that good. This video isn't meant to hate on VIVINOS or the alien stage or shit on it in any way, shape, or form. I just know that VIVINOS could do better. If you go back through the video and really pay attention to my critiques and my arguments, honestly, most if not all of them would be solved if this just wasn't a bunch of music videos. If they gave VIVINOS proper time and funding to make a full show, the alien stage would have been such a massive success and would be something that I would instead be here praising even more than I already have. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I really don't want this to be misconstrued. But if you're still mad at me, even after you've heard all of this, or if you're not mad at me and just want to talk, I am opening a Discord server now. So if you want to come talk to me or think my takes are awful in this video, or honestly any video I've made or am going to make, come join the Discord server and get mad at me, or just come glaze me and tell me how much you love my videos. Either is fine. Just come talk, because it'll be fun. I read like all my comments and I have a blast every single time. I think you guys are awesome, and I'm really not just saying that. I think talking to people in the comments that watch my videos is genuinely some of the most fun of doing this whole YouTube thing. So if you guys could join the Discord server and we could talk one-to-one, I think that'd be super fun. So yeah, link down below. Go join that, please. That'd be cool. And yeah, sorry if this part is really messy. This is unscripted and I really suck at doing unscripted things. Thanks for watching the video. This is such a bad end. Thanks for watching my video, genuinely. Yeah, go watch the alien stage. Yeah, that's it. Bye.